This is a Western New York Bigfoot Investigation Group podcast. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. It contains no wisdom, very few facts, or life changing epiphanies, and is only the opinions, hypotheses, and guesses of the podcast host. If anything of value is learned, it is by mere chance alone. Don't blame me if you suddenly think about something or anything in a way you hadn't thought about it before. Hey! Hello, everybody. Welcome to. Oh, hang on a second. Okay, there we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Western New York Bigfoot Investigation Group presenting the Bigfoot Atheist podcast, Bigfoot Atheist Inquiry. Whew, I don't even know the name of my own shit anymore. So, welcome to the three people watching. I don't know who you are. Thanks for showing up. I don't see anything in the chat yet, but happy Mother's Day. All right. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. And I finally got this all figured out. Now the channel's relaunched, and it's a totally different channel, totally new channel, same name. But I finally got it figured out. And I didn't realize that there was some kind of, when you started a channel, I didn't realize that there was a certain time limit you had to wait before you could do lives. Wow, that was a delay. That's funny. Hi, old soldier. How you doing? Yeah, that was a delay. They were popping up on YouTube over. That's why I had to mute this so there wasn't any echo or interference. But the comments pop up there before they pop up on my StreamYard. So that was cool. Hello, Angel. Happy Mother's Day. Yeah, so I didn't know that you couldn't do lives right away. So try to figure it out. And then today, apparently, they allowed me to go live on Facebook. Now, I don't know if I could have streamed it. So what got me trying to figure out all of this? Hey, Joe, how you doing? Welcome. Cindy, hi, Cindy. Look, I mean, thinking about this was, I thought, well, okay, they're not letting me. I tried to schedule a live yesterday with the StreamYard. And again, normally when I do that, the destination is the YouTube page. And then I can go to my YouTube page after I set it all up. I can go to my YouTube page and hit manage videos and then click on live. And it'll show me the live that I just scheduled that's coming up. But it wasn't doing that yesterday. I was like, oh, I don't get it. But I thought maybe it was because they weren't letting me go live yet on YouTube. In other words, I could just do it on YouTube live just by hitting the little camera thing and then hitting go live. But they weren't letting me do that. There's a time limit, and I didn't realize that. Well, today that time limit was up. So as you guys, some of you saw, I was able to do a test run on YouTube live, and that worked. And I went back in. But the thing with the Facebook, the destination through StreamYard, I was right. It had the wrong destination. It had Bigfoot Atheist, which is a different account that I have under the same, my YouTube, Google account, whatever. It had the wrong one. That's why it wasn't showing up. So I'm wondering if yesterday the reason why I didn't show up is because it had the wrong one. So I had to remove that destination and then put in another one. And I saw that there's two accounts that I have. One under my actual name, Joseph, and the other one is Squatch. Well, I had to pick the Squatch one because that's the one that's linked to this too. And then when I put add destination, then it added this, the Bigfoot Atheist Inquiry. hence here I am. I hope all that made sense, right? Did any of that make sense at all? So yeah, um, so I'm back in play now, for now, and I have a lot of time right now, as I was saying, on my hands. I have a few days because I'm still not being able to get back to work yet. Molly's out of town with a friend, so I got some time to chat with you guys and figure out all this stuff since I screwed it all up. And so at least I'm good. I mean, I was having to step away from doing all the podcasts, and I still am because I have to get back to work. Once I get back to work, I'm going to be busier than a one arm paper hanger, man. Trying to play catch up, basically, with everything. So, but I didn't want to completely, like, just totally, not do my channel anymore. So I'm happy that I'm able to, now that I've got this relaunch going, I'm happy that I still have it. And I do have some of the old videos, but that's okay. That was a lot of fun. There's a couple of them I wish I still had that I don't, like the one with me and Thomas and Leon when they interviewed me about my encounter. There's many, many more that I'm like, damn, I wish, I wish I still had them, but I don't even have them on StreamYard now. Because I apparently, without realizing, I didn't realize, I thought I'd saved the one with me and Leon and Thomas, but apparently I didn't. And apparently I deleted that off of StreamYard to get back some hours, because I have 100 hours. Hi, Sally, my dog. I have 100 hours, and you sometimes have to go back through, delete some of your stuff to gain back some hours. And apparently I did that to that one, which sucks, man. It sucks. So, hey, Mr. Lee 3PO, what's going on? Finding the trackway. What's going on? Hey, guys. I'm glad to see some of you guys are coming back. Pyromedic. Hey, how's it going? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Pyromedic says, I missed Molly's story about what happened to her when driving the Jeep. Can you recap real quick? No. I don't know if I still have that show that Molly and I did on our anniversary. We did a show, a short one. I don't know if she told the story in there or not. I can go check. Yeah, it had nothing to actually do when she was driving a Jeep. The story had nothing to do with the Jeep. She was just in a store and she ended up. Lady gave her some free cigarettes, basically, at one of the convenience stores that she had gotten from the reservation, because a lot of times we go out to get to the Seneca Nation out west of us here, because they got really cheap smoke shops out there, and so that was part of the story. I forgot what the other part was. Pyropathic. I forgot what else happened, whatever reason, but um, yeah. You just finished mowing the grass, Mr. Lee. Awesome. Yeah, I mowed the other day. And yes, I am alive and live. Yes. Yeah. How did I? Well, that's a really good question. How did I manage to delete the channel? Well, because I'm an idiot. That's how. Sally, stop. Guys, give me a second. I think I got to let my dog out. Hang on. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Hey, yeah, she really had to go, man. Wow. So, anyway, yeah, Mr. Lee, it's because I'm an idiot. That's how I did it. By not understanding how computers and different apps or programs or whatever freaking work. That's how. Um, but now it's all water under the bridge. I've got this new one started. I'm just going to stick to it. And, um, hey, look, if all the same people that were sub come back and sub, I'll be happy with that. I don't really, doesn't matter if I get any new ones or not. Um, anybody's welcome. That's great. If you want to listen to me yammer about shit and about Bigfoot mostly, but yeah. Um, if I get all the same people back, that would be really freaking cool. And the channel is taking. I mean, I am taking it on a little bit of, it's going around the bend. It's been going around the bend for a little while, and it's going towards something different. Um, so that's one of the reasons why the shows are out, because I never really wanted to be a podcast host. Okay, I got talked into that by some people, and they were like, "Hey, man, you should do a podcast." Blah blah blah. And hey, it's fun. I mean, I won't deny that it's a fun thing to do, but it's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I originally intended my Facebook page and pages or the YouTube channel to be. I wasn't envisioning it as being a podcast channel. I just wanted to put up videos of what I was doing, and that's what I was doing. There was a lot of those videos when we went camping, and and I even had other videos when I would actually go out and actually look to see if I could find evidence. And that's where the channel was, and then it ended up being a bunch of podcasting, and I didn't really want that. So yeah, I'm going, basically it's a new direction, but it's back to the old direction. If that makes sense. I want to get back to just, if I'm posting something, it's because it's something that I was doing out there that I want to show you guys, right? And yeah, I'll still do some of these shows like now, like we can get down and chat and talk about stuff, but I don't want to do that on a regular basis, you know. I want to see how you guys are doing here. 1, 2, 3. It's the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Lee. Hey, yeah, there you go. Which sounds like mystery when said quickly. Pure genius, really. That's a good, funny comment, Trackway. So, did anybody join that I missed so far? Well, I have 13 people back in watching. That's cool. Yeah, I seen that. She told me too that she's got me in her BO be on the lookout section of her show tonight, which I'll be in a chat there, definitely. I want to see that show. Yeah. Mr. Lee, Joe, I remember when you came on Moses many moons ago in my leather hat. Leather hat? Oh no, it's not leather. It's no. I think I know which one you're talking about, Mr. Lee. Is it a cowboy hat brown? Cowboy hat and brown? It's not leather, actually. It looks like it, I can see, but it's not leather. It's actually, I believe it's just felt. Yeah, it's just felt. Go for it. Yeah, I mean that's the direction I'm taking, and because there's so many channels out there, right? And lots of them are podcasting channels. That's great, man. It's fun to do. Some people have a really great aptitude for it, right? They're really great hosts. I mean, like Nikki. Nikki's got a beautiful aptitude for doing this, and having a channel and doing her podcasts, and she does all kinds of really neat, interesting things. Not just the Bigfoot stuff, but yeah, I mean, Hairy Man Hoaxes and Hoodwinks is one of my favorite podcasts. Of course, it is. I love the job that she does with it, and it's a good production as well. You know, she knows what she's doing. She's got the see, I'm not like that though, man. You know, obviously I'm not like that. You know, but there are some people out there that really put a lot into it, so that they could make it worthwhile to watch, right? You know, they have soundboards, they got all that, like Steve does. You know, he's got a good production. Lots of places. Uh, um, Sasquatch Odyssey podcast, Brian. He does a good production. You know, they know all that good stuff, man, and I don't. So that's not my thing. So I just get on here and wing it, you know, and what you see is what it is. I mean, I'm not technological. I don't have a lot of fancy flash, um, which is nice if you can do that stuff, because the more you can make it interesting to watch, of course, the more people are going to watch and listen to you. But cowboy hat, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, did he? That's cool. Yeah, Lockbeard. Yeah, I mentioned him in what did I mention? I did. I mentioned him in the show because I was watching that one podcast. Which again, like I say, these podcasts that have on some of these people that you're like, really? It's no indictment against the podcast. The podcaster himself, the host, and the podcast itself, and I forgot what it was called. I'm sorry, but there's no indictment against them. I understand they're curious, right, and they want to get these people on. But had one on there of, you know, it's just like, that's this lady, man. You know what? It'd be different if you were actually showing me proof, and I'll use a legal term here, beyond a shadow of a doubt that what you're saying is true, right? And, you know, but yeah, so it's not anything against the podcast channels that have those people on. I never chose to, because I'd have to sit there going, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Um, because you're not showing me any reason to believe you, you know? Um, and most of them, and it's not even that sometimes I don't believe them. It's like, because like, it's not even that. It's like, oh, how do I'm trying to figure out how to put this. Use your words, Joe. Use your words. Um, how am I trying to express this thought? See, this is another reason why I don't do podcasts. How do I express this? It's not so much that I can go, I don't believe you, but it's like you're not. It's like, show me why I'm supposed to, right? You know, it's like, I don't have. I'm not saying that anybody's. I said this the other day. I'm not saying that these people are wrong, right? And I think that's where you can't say they're wrong. Well, I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying that they're not giving me any reason to believe all this stuff. And it's on both sides of the fence. Don't get me wrong. It's not just with like the people that thinks there's all kinds of supernatural attributes to Bigfoot and Sasquatch. There's some people on the flesh and blood side that are out there that are claiming all this stuff, you know, about Bigfoot. And I'm like, you're not giving me any reason to believe that what I saw is doing all this stuff you say it can do, you know? Um, and it's all about just, can you prove what you claim? It's like, that's it. Can I prove what I've claimed? No, I can't. Am I going to get mad when somebody starts asking me questions about it? And they might not necessarily believe me. No, I'm not going to get mad. Too many people get their feelings hurt when you just start asking questions. And it's not about, I don't believe you're wrong. If you say something and you claim something, then fine, okay. Explain to me how you know this stuff so much. So, like, show me how come it's supposed to be a fact. That's all I'm asking, right? And I try to ask questions in a civil manner, you know, like the lady claiming that she psychically telepathically, whatever, which word you want to use, communicates with Bigfoot all the time. And not only that, but all kinds of elementals and other cryptids are actually real. I don't have any evidence of that. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I don't have any evidence of it. And if you've got it, you should damn sure show it to me because I would love to see it. That's all. I would love to, and that's why I want to get back out. That's why I say I'm taking this change with this channel because I want to get back out. I want to get back out and start looking and doing what I was used to be doing, so that I can maybe find something to show somebody. You know, um, yeah, you know, I want to be able to get back out there, and I want to go back to what I was doing. You know, yeah, sure. I still want to be looking, watching, because although I get frustrated sometimes with what I see online, the only ones I get really frustrated with though are the ones that we all know that they're full of shit, and what they're doing is not very moral because they know they're just taking money from people um, that have a desire to believe, and they're trying to pass off shit as fact. And you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about some of the people that are going out there just playing and LARPing and whatever. I don't I don't subscribe to that myself, but I understand. I guess if people want to entertain themselves that way, okay. Um, just not my thing, and you still have to kind of call out that stuff though, because it is misinformation. And but I mean, if somebody wants to watch somebody that's Bigfoot role playing out there throwing rocks at a tree and then going, I don't know what that was. And you can obviously see that they threw the rock, right? You can obviously see that they picked something up off the ground and they threw a rock at a tree, and then they tried to claim that something threw the rock. That was, I mean, is that misinformation? Hell yeah. You're trying to fool your audience. You're trying to make them believe it's something that it's not. That's not right. Not saying that you're doing it for malicious intent though, but it's not good. Hey Leon. Oh, hey, I was gonna. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to instead here copy just to make sure I still have it copied. Here's the link in the post. Here's the post in the link. Here's the link in the whatever. There's the link. If somebody wants to hit it, like Leon, and come on, or Mr. Lee, or Cindy, or Trackway, or whoever wants to use that link, hit that link if you want to jump on here and enjoy this Mother's Day little get together. Happy Mother Squatch Day. So, if there's any mother squatches out there, it's a happy day for them too. And thank you, Leon, for subscribing, resubscribing, or whatever you. I was hoping you were subscribed to me before, Leon, too. Yeah, but thank you. Cindy said, "Joe, damn, I thought you was going towards a depression." No, I mean, I get it, and I'm not going to say that there were certain things that may have had me a little bit. No, but not what you. The reason why I was doing all this other stuff with the page and stepping away wasn't depression. A lot of it was frustration, and I'm going to be so damn busy. I'm a little depressed that I'm not back to work yet, but I'm okay. It's going to happen within the next day or two, I'm sure. And I'll get back to work again. Then I'll have to work my ass off, but it's okay, man. That's life. Life is going to do what it will, and you have to just adapt. Finding Trackway. So close to joining that crew, Joe, till I saw. I know, right? And there was somebody else. You're talking about the rock throw. Yeah, I don't remember the name of the group, and it's not important anyway here at this time. Um, but even one of the people that were watching them, that's I guess a follower of their channel or whatever, even said in the thing. I noticed the comment. It was like, "Come on, man, you do that." So, but yeah, so like when it comes to that, I mean, they may not have a malicious intent to going out there and play, but they're passing out some misinformation. You know, you're trying to pull the wool over your, and very poorly, actually, very poorly trying to pull the wool over your audience's eyes to get them to believe that you're actually out there doing something. You know, hey, there he is. What's up, Trackway?
Hey, how's it going, Joe? You had me so messed up yesterday.
Yeah, you know, I mean, hey, look, I was messed up. I was trying to figure it out, man. Yeah,
I'm just glad you're back.
but I liked your comment, man. I was like, yeah, it does seem like it's like, wait a minute, this, yeah.
Yeah, I was
So
like,
I'm in the past, present, and future, man.
the video is 2 hours long, but it's only been posted for an hour, and
Yeah,
what's going on here? He went full Star Trek on me.
yeah, yeah,
Well, what's up with this? Okay,
yeah,
but yeah, that crew, I'd been, just watching them from a distance or whatever, however you want to say it, because they're not that far away from me. Um, Maybe 30 minutes.
yeah.
And I kind of thought, well, maybe looking into joining a group or something, so I'm not out there alone all the time. Maybe kind of see how the dynamic works, and then that kind of thing happened there, and so I just kind of stopped. So I guess I'm
Yeah, I
still on
mean,
my own.
you know, and and I haven't looked back at the video to see if they like removed my comment. They may not have. I mean, sometimes they don't. Um, but it's like, yeah, you see that and you're like, I mean, and this is one of the reasons why, right? And I think most of us is the reason why most of us, the reason I watch that stuff is, and I will occasionally look at something I hadn't seen before because who knows, right?
Yeah,
Maybe they'll come up with something,
maybe
and
they'll
then you
trip over
watch
something.
them, and then all of a sudden you see something like that and you go, oh, uh, really, really, okay, so you don't have nothing. All right, never mind. So wait, I keep forgetting what state are you in, Trackway?
Ohio.
Ohio. Oh, shit.
Oh,
Who's close to Ohio that we? I mean, if you want to go out with people's, I mean, I don't know what part of Ohio you're in,
I'm in the Northeast area.
but once I start getting out, you're always welcome to go out with me, man. I mean, I'm nobody special, and I'm not even a great investigator, but I mean,
Uh, I'm
going
about
out, you're always welcome. If somehow we could meet up, I'm trying to think of local people. Steve Coles is a great guy to get hooked up with when he goes out too.
yeah.
I'm fortunate; I don't live that far from him, really. I mean, he's a few hours away from me, east of me, towards the Adirondacks. But I got him, and then I've got Mike from Tactical Bigfoot Research that lives like basically up the road from me.
And I'm going to see Mike next month. So
Oh
I'm
yeah,
really excited about that. Yeah, he's coming down here for another one of the conventions that are going on. And I'm hoping to meet him and a couple other people.
yeah.
It's just a convention thing. And then, I've put up that Hocking Hills is having their festival
I've been to
again this
one of
year.
those. I guess this is only the second one they had, is it?
Yeah. And, but
So I
this
must have
time,
been to the very first one. Yeah,
Steve Coles is coming down. So,
I wish I could.
um,
But that's August, right?
August 4th and 5th.
Yeah, I might. I don't know. We'll see. I got to see where I'm at with work and finances, etc. By the time August rolls around, and if I can swing it, I might go. Even though I'm not a big conference person. There's a few that I've been to that one once. I've been to the other one in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, we went to the Ohio one.
no, no,
Met up
no,
with.
no, no. I'm sorry. I've been to Hocking Hills, and I've been to the one in Pennsylvania. That's what it was. It was the one in
Okay,
Pennsylvania.
and we just went to and met uh, my wife and I just met up with Jen and BF Bud and his wife Angie. Just I think it might have been last weekend
Yeah.
at the Ohio conference there at Salt Fork,
Yeah.
and we had a good time there. We went out camping afterwards, just me and the wife.
Hmm.
Got soaked, but um, yeah, last year's where is when I met Jen and BF Bud down there. That was the where I went complete Barney Fife on Cliff Brockman.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he had coins sitting there, and I was like, oh, wow, it's cool. It's a coin, cool. I asked him how much, and he said the price, and so I got it, and then I got a picture with him, and then I kind of walked away because Jen wanted to talk to him. Then I started thinking, oh crap, did I pay him for the coin? And so either I went back and I did pay. So either I paid him $10 for the coin, or I paid him 20. I don't know, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now Jen walked up to him and was like, "Do you know Joe?" And she was just flat out cool with the whole situation. They had a great conversation at the Ohio conference. He was back for that one too, and I think he's coming back for Hocking Hills. Like I said, I've never seen or sat in any of the presentations. Most of the time, they're out there and you can meet and talk to people one on one, and that
Yeah.
was the part I liked.
Yeah, I mean that's the good thing. I'm a little disappointed at the way some of these conferences are headed myself, but that's just a personal thing with me. Um, you know, it's I'm not a big, but they are. I mean, they are. I will admit, they are a good place to go to meet some of these people that
Mm-hmm.
you might have developed some friendships online with, etc. Absolutely agree with that. I was just laughing here for a second because I'm noticing the chat and I've got just like everybody from the Star Wars showing up. Tom Cruise subscribed again. Thank you, Tom. I still hated I still didn't like the Top Gun movies. I'm sorry, dude, but like Jack Reacher loved it, loved it. Now I've got Chewbacca in the chat, R2D2, and also Yoda. Yoda showed up too. Uh,
Oh,
so hey, there you go.
may the force be with
It
you.
must piss you off a lot, Chewbacca, to constantly be getting confused with Bigfoot, right? So
Chewbacca's got smaller shoulders,
yeah, yeah, but
so
yeah, I mean the conferences though, yeah, they're good for that. I mean, I'm a little disappointed now. I'm seeing all these conferences that they're not Bigfoot conferences anymore. They're Bigfoot and Dogman, and I'm sorry, man. No, I'm not.
that,
I'm gonna stop saying I'm sorry because I'm not sorry that Dogman is not fucking real. Okay, and it's just to me, it just it just it takes away that much more legitimacy away from actually researching Bigfoot. When you're going to add in, Dogman and all these other cryptids that most likely are not real. There's no evidence that says they are. And people, man, it's just like I let me. I'm sorry, I got triggered. But anyway,
it's okay.
yeah, some of the conferences, though, yes, they are a good place to go to talk to people
We
that you've developed friendships with. I do agree with that, and I had
we
fun at the two that I went to.
we had a good time. I mean, they had stuff set up for the kids, and like there's a Jeep presentation with this one in Hocking Hills that they do. Well, it wasn't a presentation, and it really was kind of a small show, but um, and a lot of it's merchandising, and
Absolutely, but you
that's
know what? That's okay too, right?
yeah, that's okay. Well, that small town made out
Yeah,
because because what they do, they shut down that city block, and there's a lot of art galleries with like normal type, non Bigfoot related type art.
yeah,
Um, but and we talked to several of the shop owners while we was there, and it was like, um, we don't see this level of business in a full year, but we got it today.
right.
So that brings in a lot. And like I said, you got a point there because the second that sticker I sent you that Jen bought,
Oh yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
um, you know, well, we was there the first day, and it was pretty. It was thinned out. The second day, it was madness.
Yeah.
I went back to get that sticker, and I ran into. I mean, just immediately ran into that Bill from Mountain Monsters, the guy that does all the buildings. So he come running down the street, and
Wild
he
Bill.
ran up to this couple that was sitting right next to us as we were walking by, and he's like, "Where's the bathrooms?" And then he went on down to the presentation stuff. So I mean, that was kind of an interesting moment. I'm not a big fan of the Mountain Monster thing, but
You know what? I gotta tell you, man, I absolutely was. And the
uh,
reason is because it was so damn funny, man. Not because I was like buying all of it, because obviously I was like, dude, this is so. But man, I love that show, dude. I
no,
loved it.
yeah, it's all satire, but at the
Yeah,
same
I
time,
mean, just catch a little buzz and
so
sit down and watch some mountain monsters, man. I was more interested in the kind of trap that they were going to build, man, for the next episode, right?
well, some of them become like a drinking game. Like we watched that Curse of Oak Island, and the drinking game is every time they say, "Could it be?" The
Yeah,
narrator comes on and says, "Could it be?" And I tell you what, you don't make it through the first half hour.
I know.
Yeah.
He's drunk as hell afterwards.
So
But yeah, some of them traps, man, and those dude. I loved it, man. And there actually was one time they actually caught something in one. It was a pig, but
yeah, and I thought that was kind of unusual. What you know, swine has always been open in Ohio, but I've never seen one.
yeah,
You know, it's always been open year round in Ohio for wild swine, and I've never seen one or seen sign of one yet in 40 years, 40, 50
yeah.
years.
It's supposedly we have them here in certain parts of New York. I've heard, but I've never seen a wild hog ever in New York anywhere myself. I know we
Yeah.
used to have them, but a lot like the cougar, which has made a comeback. I don't care what anybody says.
No, same
Like
boat here.
they had hunted the pigs to extinction in this state. Um, but I guess there is places, I supposedly that they're back or they're there or something, but I've never seen one. But
Yeah, that one night
I guess they're just in areas where I'm at.
I pulled the trailer down to where I'm usually alone by myself for a couple of weeks, and I had just gotten there. I'm not sure if I was there at the start of that 2 weeks or if it was a weekend. And I got everything set up. I was in my camper. I stepped out, and man, it sounded only 70 yards away at most. It sounded like there was a woman being skinned alive, just screaming in the dark in the woods. And it's coming from across the property on the next door property. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. I turned around, went right back in the camper and got the firearm out and made a phone call. I was like, hey, are you guys getting down there pretty soon? Because there's something screaming out here and I don't know what it is. But we come to find out that somebody nearby had a pet spotted leopard that had gotten loose and it had been posted on, I guess, Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and there was several trail cam captures of it. I didn't have one, but I was aware of it through the neighbor that there were several trail cam captures of it, and that there's no reason to be concerned about the leopard anymore. So, but I don't know what that means. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, Mr. Lee says they have wild boar there. Do they? Huh. I did not know that. I didn't know that. I asked, let's see, who was it? I asked Derek. Oh, I remember now. I asked Derek McManus because we were talking about wild turkeys the other day or something.
mm-hmm.
And I noticed in the chat he said something about turkey was good eating. And I had asked him if there was any wild turkeys in Ireland. And apparently there's not. I mean, they farm them domestically, I guess, but there's no wild turkeys there.
Couple things about the wild turkey. I mean, around here they have been on a decline. largely because of the raccoons and whatnot
Yeah.
getting the eggs. But a couple fun facts about turkey. Benjamin Franklin wanted to make it the
The national bird. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
There's 4 subspecies of wild turkey. There's the Easterners that we have.
Yeah. I
You
guess
go,
that's what we got here is the eastern wild turkey or something. Yeah.
yep. You go down to Florida and you have, oh, I'm probably going to butcher the name, the Osceolas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. I can't say it either. I think that's how
Then
you.
you have the Rio Grandes down there around Arizona and so forth. And then you get out towards the west, you have the Merriman turkeys, the ones with the bright white tails. So
Oh,
I didn't go out this year, but
that's one thing. Well, we got plenty of them here in New York. I mean, I can't say that I see them all the time, but during a certain season, I see them quite often alongside the roads, at the edges of the
mhm.
woods, and etc. So I don't think we're having a problem with our number of wild turkeys we have here. But um, I that's the one thing I never did when I was a kid. I hunted just about everything. I never hunted turkeys in my as a child.
The last one that I harvested, we ended up grilling the breast, and it was delicious.
Yeah, yeah.
So we grilled turkey
Turkeys,
breast.
man. People. I mean, like I said, I'm not experienced at turkey hunting, but from what I understand, they're pretty sly birds, man. It's not easy to hunt them.
No,
Um,
they have the
I mean,
bird
if you're a
itself.
really, really good turkey hunter, man, I can see. But like me, to go out and hunt a turkey, I probably would never get a turkey, right?
The
Because
the birds themselves have a very extended vocabulary, believe it or not. They,
yeah,
from uh, God, there must have been at least 20 or so calls just for the birds and understanding when to use which ones.
hmm
And the other part of turkey hunting is that you're doing something that's backwards. A lot of people don't know that. You're out, you're pretending to be the hen. Well, when the tom gobbles, the hen's supposed to go to him, and you're trying to get it to do the backwards thing. You're trying to
right,
get that tom to come to you by pretending to be a hen, and so that's part that makes the calling part makes it tough. Their eyesight, um, their vision is so good. They can pick you out like you wouldn't believe.
yeah,
Uh, they're night blind now. I know
right,
that.
yeah,
I almost kicked one in the field one day. I thought it was somebody's decoy, but here it was a live bird.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's. Have you ever seen? I don't know how old you are, Trackway, but
I'm just a little younger than you.
okay, all right. Then you probably know of it. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Have you ever seen the movie Sergeant York?
The Steve Martin version.
No, 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 no. It was an actual old movie. I
Okay,
guess it was made probably back in the 50s or 60s, maybe.
I can't say
Um,
I have seen it.
yeah, it was about Sergeant York, um, and his time when he was in World War I there. And this is one of those guys. Okay, Sergeant York. He single-handedly, at least that's how the story goes. He single-handedly captured like a platoon of German soldiers or something,
Hmm.
right? Single-handedly. And there's a scene in there which I thought was pretty cool. And I'm like, yeah, is that really true though? It's one of those things where he was a boy. I think he was from one of the southern states, Tennessee maybe, or somewhere like that. A big turkey hunter, right? And so these German soldiers, there's a scene in there where these German soldiers are hunkered down behind this thing, and old Alvin York gives a turkey gobble, right? So because he's familiar with like he would if he was hunting turkeys. And he gives this turkey gobble, and sure enough, German soldier pops his head up, bang, shoots him. It's like he's turkey hunting. And I'm like, okay, did that really happen like that? Because, but I just thought it was funny. That was one of the great scenes. He's like, yeah. And I guess that's how he made, I don't know. I guess that's how he caught him or something.
Um,
Single-handedly. But he did win a medal for that, for doing that. I don't know if if that's how it really went down, and it's just, or it's just, sensationalism for the movie, right?
I don't know. I mean, you get to World War II, you got your Audie Murphy and that movie where oh Ben Pitt or no is what is his name? Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt
Yeah.
was in the tank. You know, that's based off of Audie
Oh,
Murphy.
Glorious Bastards.
No, um, the tank was broken down in the middle of an intersection, and he was fighting off. Well, the crew was fighting off um, the German soldiers at the time,
Huh.
but it's based off of Audie Murphy, who,
Oh, okay.
yeah, he ran the machine gun by himself without a crew,
Hmm.
and there's a complete history on the man, which is very impressive. Although you'd think more people would know about it, but um, it's a pretty impressive story.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I always wondered because that's how, and that leads us right into this subject too that we're all so interested in is, it's like you get some of these things that built up around people that it's like, yeah, really, is that, it's like George Washington chopping down a cherry tree, right? We all know
Mm-hmm.
that one. It didn't happen though, but you know at least there's no actual historical evidence that it really did happen, right? I'm not saying that as a child he didn't chop down a cherry tree and then say, "Father, I cannot tell a lie." I mean, I don't know, but it's like that stuff. And when you build up and you take a person and you just turn them into a whole mythical character, and you have all that stuff built up around them, it's like, really?
Well, it's hard to tell. Like with Washington, when you take a look and you read his history, um, pre-Revolutionary War, he did something that you really didn't hear about too much. Um, Twice, he guided twice to, I believe it was called Fort Ohio, which is now the modern day Pittsburgh area. I may be wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know for certain. Which back then was quite an accomplishment. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. There's a place in Virginia. George Washington was actually a surveyor too,
yes.
And there's Natural Bridge. That's where it is. Natural Bridge,
Mhm.
Virginia. There's a place where up on the rock wall it has his initials.
Yep.
Um, and it's like, yeah, okay, cool. But yeah, he was a surveyor among other things. But yeah, so it's like, oh, Fury. That's the movie that you were talking with Brad Pitt. Fury. Okay.
Fury.
Yeah, I never saw. I used to love the Sergeant Fury comic books when I was a kid.
Well,
Uh,
that's not the same character. So,
huh, Danny, I never heard that. Danny says, I always thought chopping down the cherry tree was a metaphor for sex with young maidens.
oh,
Okay, I'd never heard that before. These are some of the ways that Danny's letting us in on how his brain works sometimes.
what?
You can watch that if you go to his channel. You can see how his brain works all the time.
Oh,
But yeah, so the other thing I was thinking the other day, I was watching. Guys, this is, and I will recommend something. I know not everybody has the same interests I do. I understand that. Um, but if you are interested in things like anthropology and human evolution and et cetera like that, there is a very good channel on YouTube called Gut Sick Gibbon. Okay, she's a scientist. Um, anyway, I was watching hers, and something that she said that she was discussing or was mentioned on there, and Jeff Meldrum, and don't worry, I'll get around to my point here in a minute. uh, Jeff Meldrum posted it too. There's um, some Laetoli footprints. Okay, these Laetoli footprints are some of the oldest human footprints ever found, fossilized, right? And they're from actually um, Australopithecines, actually, and and I believe it's supposed to be Australopithecus africanus, right? So, but anyway, so they have these tracks, and it got me to thinking, and I answered my own question. I was like, okay, you've got these tracks that you've identified. They're fossilized footprints, and there's several of them. It looks like there's at least two of them, probably a family unit, right, that was walking along. Um, and they've identified them as, okay, these are, Australopithecus. That's hard to word to say, man. Australopithecus, and, et cetera. And I thought, well, okay, why is it that, you know, they can say, okay, well, look at these fossilized footprints. Well, this is from this, and this is what this is, but yet they can't look at an actual vetted out Sasquatch track that's not a hoax. We know they're out there. It's not a hoax that's been vetted from experts that know about this kind of morphology, foot stuff, and all that stuff. Why can't, if you can do that with that, why can't you do that? And then I started to think about it. I'm like, because, dumbass, we don't have any other fossils to go along with it. They can say, okay, these are Australopithecines. Why? Because, well, we have fossils of Australopithecines, and we know what their foot looked like, right? We absolutely know what the bones of the foot look like, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Very human-like. And so,
And
yeah, you can say that. But you know what? We don't have any other fossils of Sasquatch.
and a lot of that has
So,
to do too with the terrain, the substrate, and everything else. As far as being able to capture
well,
said
but
fossilized footprints.
right. But what my point is that, if we find, you have these, my point is that's the reason I understand now why science isn't just accepting, these footprints that, well, let's, Meldrum says are real, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're not accepting them. And I'm like, why don't they? Because for any other thing, they'll accept it. But that's the reason why it has to be. Because they can say that, oh, we're sure that these are absolutely Australopithecine tracks and not Homo sapien. And the reason they can say that is because they have actual fossils from Australopithecines and they can match it up. They've got nothing to match with a Bigfoot, right, footprint. Now, you may be able to say, well, why can't they just accept, well, it must be Bigfoot then? Even though we don't have like a skeletal foot or even a fossil foot from a Sasquatch to compare to these tracks that are being found and casted, but that's why we got nothing else. So, I mean, that's my understanding of it. I'm not saying that everybody should think that way, but that's what I was thinking. Hello, Leon.
You didn't say hello to Nikki.
I did too, didn't I?
I don't think
No.
so.
Hi, Nikki.
Hi, Nikki.
Hello, Neil. Leon.
Nikki, are you there, Nikki?
Nikki, are you there?
Oh, she's now gone. Way to go, you guys. All your sexual talk. All your man talk.
Oh.
You scared her away.
It's all Trackway's fault.
What?
I sent you Joe, I sent you a picture in a messenger that you want to pop
I saw
on.
that. I saw that in the post too.
Yeah.
I commented on it. That's cool.
I know that, but I just thought for the viewers, because he says hello to everybody. So
that's
why I wanted to put that picture up. I already sent you that picture because you guys will know who he is as soon as it's him. He was
okay.
I don't want to say till you put the picture up. So
well, let me see if,
since you guys are talking about conferences too, so I can tell you an update on that conference I went to yesterday.
Let me.
How'd that go?
Over.
Oh, it was interesting.
I gotta go.
There's nothing worse when you have a presentation. You have a presentation on PowerPoint, and then you open up your presentation, and all of your notes are gone. So you have to wing it. Yeah. totally. But it was your typical toss-salad approach of different ideas and stuff like that. So, and I
There it
met up
is.
with Alan when he was there. It was beautiful
Hey.
weather we had here, and
Oh.
you look at Alex is as great in person as he is online and stuff like that. And it was
There's
There she
Nikki.
is. Back. Hi, Nikki.
Oh, Nikki.
Hey, can you guys hear me
There
now?
you are.
Here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I couldn't hear you guys, so I had to get back out. See what was wrong.
Yeah.
Nice.
Alex.
Ooh,
Alex
Alex.
has got the best beard game in town, buddy. I'll tell you.
Oh, you're up there. You're up there.
Nah, mine's all scraggly. His is all nice and, you know, I don't know, Russian looking, I guess.
How was it, Leon? How was it? I want to know. Did things go good?
Sheldon, who hosted it, I mean, it was his first time ever doing anything like this. To have over 300 people show up, it was kind of interesting for him. He did really well, though. My only concern, which I talked to Sheldon a little bit beforehand, is if you have a conference, the problem is a lot of times people want to ask you questions after you're done talking. And we were supposed to have a question and answer at the end. And the problem is if you get people up there that are talking, they start answering questions, and that time can gobble up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And so there's a couple of times Sheldon was trying to hint to the people, because some of the speakers weren't mindful or conscious about other speakers who were supposed to be showing up. And so even my time got cut off by a half hour.
Wow.
I was supposed to talk for an hour. Yeah. And then on top of that, I had to wing it, which was kind of good because my time limit got affected by other people not being courteous of the other person who's supposed to be coming out. I'm not saying anything bad about that. It's just one of the glitches that happen when you throw in functions. And but to not have my notes and then having to wing it, and there was like I said, kind of a mixed ideology out there.
Not having your notes.
I when you do a PowerPoint, below each video, so it shows you the video that's up, the video coming up. And then below the video coming up is your notes for the video you're talking about. Gone into the vortex, blank sheet. Thinking, what is going on? What is going on? But the thing was, I was so exhausted because it's my first journey, an hour and a half on a car. And then I'm having to stand up a lot, concrete floor because it's in an arena. So a couple of times my muscles and my legs were just going like this and stuff like that. So
oh gosh.
But I think it turned out really well. Sheldon said to me, he says, "What do you think about doing it for 2 days?" And I said, "You should do it for 2 days." And he says, "Because I want to hear part 2." And it was kind of funny because I'm not trying to be mean or nasty when I say this, but a lot of the speakers are pulling out names that all of us know are just bogus kind of people. I didn't know that, of course. So my presentation was about a cautionary note about doing research online. And of course, I've got videos of all these people that these people are giving accolades to and stuff like that. And then I come up, I'm thinking, I'm going to be stoned in the parking lot by the time this is. But the good thing was, I had so much
biblical stoning to death.
Yeah. There was the interesting thing was I noticed was there is a shift happening in the Bigfoot community because it was a good visual example of it because you had 300 people and probably over half of them were really interested in knowing what the hell's going on out here with this whole topic compared to the ones who were allegiance to some of the more out there kind of ideas and stuff.
Yeah.
And, but I could also tell, like I said to everybody, I'm doing basically the same thing I do when I teach, which is I'm talking to you. I'm going to be giving you information subconsciously because I know that 95% of everything that's in your noggins in your brain, you picked up by subconscious already in life. So you're going to kind of get what I'm saying. I said, I'll be lucky if 5 of you get right now what I'm talking about. And the funny thing was I actually had 5 people come back saying, "My God, I'm glad you talked. I was going crazy." There was some times where, when you're listening to somebody just go on and on, because I kept hammering at first, I showed a whole bunch of videos of, when you come online, what happens when you come online. As soon as you do your first click, via clickbait, you've now programmed the system of your YouTube channel to give you like-minded style of videos. And so if you clicked on a woo channel, Sasquatch channel, then what happens is you get all woo style of videos. So your brain's getting primed. You're not aware of this or whatever. And then I kind of moved into, well, I set them up at the very beginning. I said, how many of you are honest people? Put up your hand. How many are fairly truthful? Put up your hand. How many are fairly fair? Put up your hand. I did basically 8 questions. And then I said, I know that some of your spouses would probably disagree with some of your answers you're putting up your hand with, which got them a big laughter. And then I said, later on, I said, so if you said yes to any of those things, that sets you up into, in a way, being succumb to a narrative that you shouldn't be coming aware to. And because if you're honest, because you think you're honest, if your friends are honest, most of you are honest, you're hoping the channel's going to be that way. But then you start running into finding out that there's some garbage happening. There's something that's not adding up. So I went into talking about, falling into these people, Christopher Noel's, Matt Moneymaker, these people. And then I showed everybody, I set them up. Nick Merrimer was asking about, I did a video, or he said, I want to show you 3 slides with 3 pictures each. Tell me what they are. And they're night visions of a lion, giraffes. And I asked everybody, what do you see? And they said out loud. And then I had one, of course, of a porcupine. And then I went down later on as I talked, I brought up Christopher Noel. And then I said to him, I played the video of Christopher Noel's thing. And I said, what do you guys see here? And of course they said, porcupine. I said, this guy wants you to believe that this is a Sasquatch. And it was kind of funny because every other speaker was just, well, I won't say every other speaker, because there's another guy named Alex. He's a crypto zoologist. He was really good. If Bigfoot people would just follow his way of thinking. He also talked about like tree knocks, tree clacks. Talked about upside down trees, which was good because a lot of people don't understand when you find an upside down tree with the root system, especially if it's an older one, it's done by logging. And why it's done by logging is because the habitat needs to be there for birds to nest in, because you level every tree around that area. And so you need to, the loggers, this is like 60, 70, 80 years ago. They've been doing it for decades. They flip the tree upside down so that birds can nest in it. And then he talked about the clacking noises. And what does he do? They go investigate to find out what the clack. So they clack twice with a rock. So here's another clack over there. They clack and they go, oh, this is interesting. And of course, the idea and the narration out in the world is, well, this is a Sasquatch, clack. So they tracked it down. You know what they found out? It was a beetle. Because beetle had, and so every time they clacked it, it was a sexual call to the males to find the females. And they filmed it. And so that's what I was talking about. Like, if I said to Alex after he was done talking, because my slot was at 2:00 in the afternoon, which is the worst time to do a talk because everyone's just coming off of lunch. Their blood's in their stomach. Yeah. They're tired. They want to have the afternoon siesta kind of thing. And but Alex, thank goodness, when he said how he said what he used, I could use it as well because I kept hammering people. It's not about them saying this is a Sasquatch political, kind of like a political, you ask a politician something and he answers the question, but it doesn't give you any answer to the question you asked. So I warned people about that. And I said, if they're not telling you the middle part, please tell me, how do you know from the inside out that that's a Sasquatch? So you can educate me. Yeah. And I could tell when I started going after, like, even before I got to Moneymaker, before he said anything about Moneymaker, I said, I want to let you know that I'm not talking about everybody in the BFRO. I said, there's actually one of the people that was there was somebody who is in the BFRO who I know I go out with. And I said, there's a lot of people out there that are really good people. I said, but this is the president of BFRO. And of course, I think about 8 people got up because they were getting triggered. I told the audience, you're going to get triggered. I said, my job is not to not trigger you. My job is to trigger you because I want to talk about cognitive dissonance, and this is the thing that frustrated me the most is because my time got cut off and I could see my counter on here, like on my PowerPoint, I thought I can't get through the whole video. Like I can't get through my whole presentation because I wanted to make sure I wasn't just leaving the, all this negative kind of I'm attacking Sasquatches and stuff. But I also showed, I talked about it's at the beginning so that people realize I'm on their side. I said, I had an experience that you just don't tell anybody. And then I said for really quick. So I put up a slide of, I think it's a AI thing of a toddler Sasquatch somebody had made. And I said, what I saw was a toddler Sasquatch. And the next slide up, I put a picture of a moose on moose on a nice clear lake, a real picture of a moose on a nice clear lake grazing. And then I said, who are you going to tell that story to? And I'm in the medical health field, They also played Weird Al Yankovic's aluminum foil at the very beginning of my talk. And I played that and I said, this is my biggest fear. Then I played the video. And I said, I don't want to look like I sound crazy or look crazy, because in there it's kind of like aluminum foil, aliens. The audience was laughing about that. But I could definitely sense, too, that like when I work with an audience, I like being part of the trenches in the audience so I can get a emotional feedback of how the rhythm of the talk's going. And then when I talked about Christopher Noel, I think 6 people got up and walked out, kind of thing like that. Most people stayed, which was great. And then I played because my time was cut short. I couldn't add a whole bunch of other stuff. So I tried to verbally say what I said. But then I ended up with on my videos there, if you check, I have like rules about, if you have a channel or if you're interested in investigating this, follow these rules. What you say is directly connected to your character. It's okay to admit that you're wrong. We want to find out the facts. We're here to educate the public. And the one that when I said, what you say is directly connected to your character, that one just went to the whole audience. And so everyone, and I said to them, you're going to really reflect on a lot of this stuff, especially after listening to some of these other people who went on like for an hour and a half. Everyone's talk was supposed to be an hour. Question and answer at the end of the day. People talked over their amount of time so much that they couldn't even do the question and answer. Yeah. So everyone who got a chance to hijack other people's times got answers set to them. I know that a lot of people had answers set to me, but I just thought, it's 4:00, you guys. It's the middle of the afternoon. I know there's 2 hours. There's another speaker coming. I'm going to cut this short. So the nice thing was at the end of it, Sheldon said, yeah, I'd like to have you back again next year, but we should do it for 2 hours, like do it for the whole weekend and do 2 parts. He says, because I want to hear the rest of what you were talking about. And I think it's a good idea. I mean, he did a great job. It was interesting, though, for sure, because I brought a skeptic with me, and I kept running into people that are, a couple of guys on my team that I would use in the area and stuff. And they had no idea, like when I asked people, how many of you believe that Sasquatches are real? Almost 3/4 of the audience put up their hand. And then I said, how many believe, or how many were you brought here by your crazy friend who believes in Bigfoot? And everyone puts up their hand, kind of thing, or half the people put up their hand. And that was the audience I was looking for too. So, but it was good. It was good. I mean, it was great seeing Alex, man. He's going to be interviewing Thomas and the Bookwell boys, I think on the 16th.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, coming up. So he's still in the province now. Yeah, I think he's in Chilliwack right now. And so I'm going to try to get down to Chilliwack to see them again because I didn't spend enough time with Alex, and we just had a great time when we did talk. He did interview me. The other thing was, I can't believe how fat I've become since I was sitting all the time. And I'm wearing this T-shirt. Like up here, I look pretty good. But down here, I got the old belly that just is blossoming like I'm pregnant, But it was in some time. I mean, imagine how you guys are, just the way you believe and how you believe, and you're sitting listening to people just, and you're going, "This is crazy." Even the guy I was with, he's going, "This is crazy." And I went, yeah, like it got to the point when I just wanted to go outside. I didn't want to. there was some good people speaking there. Don't get me wrong, but again, when I was done my talk, I think a lot of people didn't know what to do with like what I was saying to them because they bought into it, and yet they just finished witnessing exactly what I was talking about. In regards to that. But
Now I put this picture. I put this picture back up for a reason.
But because my
I
belly.
don't. No, does anybody see what he's talking about? I don't see that big of a belly there, Leon.
Yeah, well, that's because it's direct on. When Alex, I got more pictures, but I didn't say that was the best picture that made me not look like I've been drinking beer for
I
the
mean, you
last
want to
year.
talk about fat? Now I got a belly, pal.
Yeah,
But you look good in that picture, Leon. It's really cool to see you out and about, man. This is just really very heartening.
well, it was exhausting. I'll let you know that, but it was good. It was good, and I really missed. I really missed hanging with people, which was good. And there were some really good people that were there that were involved in Sasquatch. So, and there was this one guy, Jason. I can't remember what his last name is, but he's with the BFRO and he does a lot of the BFRO weekend retreats up north parts of Harrison Lake. If there's any guy who dresses as a Sasquatch, he should. He's like 6'7" or like he's tall. My God, he's probably.
Oh, is that Jason Zackerson?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Jason Zackerson. Yeah, he's a cool guy.
But he's a talker. Talk.
Hi, Brent.
Hey.
But it was good.
Yeah.
I mean, the weather was good. It was good. The press was there. It was funny how the ones who were rational thinkers, there was something appealing to that to a lot of the audience. And I talked to the audience about why that is appealing. Because it helps you stay in your reality. You're just hearing narration all the time and you can't vet it. It can't sink into you to keep you solid about what you know about yourself. And it doesn't matter whether it's the topic of Sasquatch or any other stuff. So they did film me, Jerry from Bookwatch Crew. He did film me. He's actually downloading it now. I haven't watched myself, and again, of course, I don't know how I looked or how I sounded or anything because it wasn't what I had arranged on my PowerPoint. So when people found out that I had no notes, they said, "You had no notes? That was amazing." Or the one guy it's kind of funny when you're a counselor and you talk about like you go to a conference and you're talking about really awkward topics like sexual abuse and all that kind of stuff. You walk back out into the audience during the break and people who are affected by you distance themselves. It's a weird kind of thing that happens. Some will come up to you, but a lot of them, if you trigger their belief system, they have an avoidance of you, which is a good sign, by the way. It's not a negative sign. Because what that means is, they're going, There's been something bugging me. And what this guy just said, I think fits into that puzzle piece that's been bugging me. And that's what I could have hoped for. So I'll let you know. I'll shoot you guys a copy as soon as I see whether or not I want to look like it. Because I had to sit on a chair too. That was the other thing. And the other drawback was I told Sheldon, make sure your electronics work well. Sheldon isn't a real electronic guy. So yeah, he had the presentation, he had the screens up, he had the projectors on the screens, he had the mics working. He didn't connect the audio for the videos for being on the screen. So if I'm trying to play Weird Al Yankovic's video aluminum foil, he had to come back up. I had to shut the mic off so he could put it through a speaker behind me. But then he goes and he leaves the stage, but I have other videos. And then so I'm trying to get people in, but I can't get the audio. So, so I used a lot of hand motions, dynamics, like crazy puppet guy. So that I'm knowing perfectly well that these people are just finished lunch and want to have a nap more than likely. And I'm talking stuff real deep for them. So, but it was a good time. I kudos to Sheldon for what he did. And next year is more likely he's going to do it again over 2 days. And I told him, I said, listen, we got Alex here, man. I can talk to him. He'll probably come back next year and stuff like that too. So to speak this time. And that's what you want kind of thing, Oh, I'll try to finish up with this. Thomas, every time they had a speaker up there, Thomas would always put his hand up when they were doing questions. Everyone they would always ask everyone else's question except for Thomas, but Thomas just kept his hand up. He would just keep his hand up, and until even if he had to wait to the end, he just kept his hand up. And people knew who he was, but they're worried about what's going to ask. And he asked the same question over and over and over and over to every single one of them except for me. He said, so do you believe that they're zoological or they're supernatural? Some of the speakers who were talking were painting this picture that they have supernatural qualities and stuff like that. But he was getting them on the record to say, no, they're natural. Yeah. They're natural. They're not supernatural. I thought, oh, Thomas, you funny dude. But I mean, we got a picture of all four of us, and I just thought, man, this looks like the group of senior citizens palliative care of Sasquatchers right here. But anyways,
that's cool. I look forward to seeing that, man. Are you going to let the Book Boss crew put it up, or are you just?
Well, no, I want to take it first, and what I'm going to probably do, because the sound and everything. I mean, the speaker, the mic was fine, but the videos that I have, everything was very systematic because I was trying to open their brain up in one way while stuffing information that's subconsciously another way. And I got half of that done, but I didn't get the whole picture because I didn't get a chance to go into, okay, so why is this important? I did mention in a way you, Joe, and you and Jeff and you, Jay, your situation. I said, why this is important? I said, listen, to me, there's two reasons I'm involved in this. And that is our tracks are facts, and that I don't understand people who have PTSD from this event. And then I explained to people about the mind, which I think was really interesting to a lot of people, because a lot of the stuff I was talking about was how your brain works and stuff. And I said, it's not fair to those people who have had a traumatic experience. Imagine, and then I said this to the audience, imagine you just experienced a Sasquatch and you come online and you are freaked right out about the whole thing. And imagine you come online because you need more information. And all you start doing, and you did that one click thing, and you hit a crazy site. The nice thing was I put up a post, or I put up a YouTube, when you go into YouTube and it has all the windows of different ideas when you first go into YouTube. And I found a YouTube, I did that. And on the bottom right-hand corner, kind of where Brent is, it had like a topic of Savant's kids, and it had Donald Trump's town hall meeting, and then on the right it was about basket weaving or something, and then on the bottom left it has Dyer's Sasquatch in the thing. And I said, now when you go online, the first thing you're going to do is look through these thumbnails and see if there's anything that's interesting. And then the next thing you're going to do is see something that's interesting. Well, what's that one down there? Well, that looks like an animal of some sort. And then you're going to look at the views. 1.2 million views, I said, on that video. Anyone recognize that picture? A lot of people, I was amazed, weren't that versed in a lot of stuff that we are. And I said, that's a Sasquatch. There must be legitimacy if there's 1.3 million views on it, everybody. And what are you going to do? You're going to click on that if you just had this. And then you realize that it's bogus, and he's been proven bogus. And this video has been proven bogus. And the Sasquatch has been proven bogus. And the other thing is, when I went through doing all my presentation, I stopped that when you come online, you're going to meet these type of channels. And then I had them all listed like this. It would be like on here. And I said, which of these people what shows are you going to trust here? How are you going to vet these people to see what they're going to be able to help you with your situation? And then I went from that to the characters. I put 50 pictures of everybody from the good and the bad. And I said, look at all these people. Then you're going to run into these characters. How are you going to tell whether or not you should trust them or not? And it went out. There was another one. I can't remember what it was. That was kind of the same thing. But the theme for me through the thing, again, one of the layerings was, how do you know what is going to assist you here in understanding that the evidence you're finding is actually good? And see, before then, they're just like big mouse being sucked in by this narration of Sasquatches. I'm going to teach you how to speak to them in your mind. Verbiage, lots of verbiage. And I kept just hammering people saying, so if you ever hear that, just ask that one guy, will you please tell us how you know that? Not just say that it is. Tell us. We're smart enough. We're intelligent enough we're honest enough, we're sincere enough, and you can't do that, which tells us that you're not being honest with us, you're not being sincere with us. Like I thought my strategy was pretty good. I don't know if when I know it did affect people, so. But I got asked to come back again. Bonus, they didn't kill me.
Well, it's one of those things that you probably won't see the effect right away, but you planted those seeds in allowing people to take that information,
totally.
absorb it, and process it. And probably next year they'll come up to you and be like, "Yeah, man, thank you so much for your speech because it really."
Yeah, but I told them that too, Brent. I told them that too. I said, you might even be pissed right off now, sitting down listening to what I'm saying. I said, but I can guarantee you in about a year and a half or two, you're going to come up to me and say, God, I'm glad that stuck in my head like you said it was going to. And that was the point, was the thing about the brain when you're talking, you can't try to convince anybody of anything. But what they don't know, which you guys will now know, is the brain is a sponge. What does a sponge do? It absorbs things. You put a sponge in water, what does it do? It still absorbs the water. It can't help it. It just does. And so if you put information like you guys do with your channels and what you're trying to assist people with, it's in there. And one day it's going to click the information you're doing. And especially, if you're doing shows like Brent, you and Nikki, where, you're not coming after people, but showing people about people. People rant and rave and be upset and stuff like that. But geez, just wait. Just wait. They're going to be so thankful to you for pointing that out. They're going to feel foolish that they were gullible like we were. But you have to go through that process because you want to get them more solid in themselves. So.
Well, I'm actually going through that process right now with somebody that private messaged me, a subscriber of mine, and wanted some questions. It was that hoax video, the guy throwing the rock, Randy Brisson Jr. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, my screen just went off for some reason. Anyways, so he reached out to me. He was like, "Oh, hey, what do you think of this?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, dude, that's a hoax, obviously." But he was a real fan of theirs, friends with some of them, and a true supporter. And now he is at that cusp of, oh crap, he's starting to realize what everything is going on with it, which it's this new type of grifting that's going on, which is the live stream grifting, going out into the woods. LARP is a Bigfoot investigator, let the donations ring in, which they actually do pretty well, make hundreds of dollars a night. And but yeah, it's true. And it's a process for people, and some people will catch on to it sooner than later, especially if the people are approaching you wanting to get verification, your opinion on certain evidence and stuff. That there will help them, with that whole process. So it's cool. It's happening now. We're able to have more conversations about it.
Yeah, well, this thing, I should not laugh at it, but I do laugh at it. I'm not laughing at it because of the people that have actually donated money or anything because of whatever reason they're doing it, because they think it's real or it's legit or whatever. I'm not laughing at them, but I'm just laughing at the fact that it's this particular one that I saw and commented on was just so freaking obvious, man. I mean, I looked at that and I went, how could anybody who followed these guys not see watching the video? He bends down, he picks something up. Later on, you find out it's a rock. He bends down, he picks something up, he walks around for a little bit until he's in the clear where he can swing his arm, and you actually hear him move his arm. The camera shakes and a thunk. And then he says, I don't know what that was. Yes, you do, dude. You just threw a rock and hit that tree, man. Come on. It's like, it's so lame. And I'm like, there is like nobody that, even, I don't care if they did like him, there's nobody watching that could go, yeah, that was a Bigfoot. You can't see that. You can't recognize that. I don't. I laugh because it's the lamest attempt at a hoax that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, the guy who sent that to me, he was actually a really big fan of that guy too, the trapper guy that's doing the hoax. He's a really big fan of him, but he was just so taken aback because they tried to talk about this with them in the comments section, but they kept removing comments and created a whole different narrative for it. Oh, I had a bug bite on me or something like that, a tick on me. And so they tried to discuss this with them, but they kept shutting them down and not discussing it. And that's when one of them turned to me and like, what's going on here? And because he was confused, he wasn't sure what was going on, because he was, a lot of these people who fall for these hoaxes or hoaxers, they're just new in the subject. They're just coming on to the scene, so they just don't really get what's going on. But yeah, this is a really good, elaborate one. It's a main dude that has it one main channel, and he has a bunch of supporting channels going out there, help promoting the main channel, as where all the donations come into. And I think probably at the end of the night, they probably divvy up the donations, with the main guy probably getting more of it. But good way to make money, I guess.
Yeah, you probably can, Grasshopper. He said, I wonder if I can live stream an old codger just sitting around the apartment shaking my cane at idiots. You probably could. You probably get
watch.
some words.
Now, Brent, I don't know if this is my mic on.
Yeah, we can hear you, Tradway.
Yeah, I got to come forward and say this, because those guys are only about 30 minutes away from me.
I'll be right back.
And I talked to Joe earlier about, I was, and having seen all this, that I was considering, maybe contacting these guys and seeing what's going on or whatnot. And that's only been in like the last couple of days. But yeah, I saw that in the comment section, and I double checked both ones. And yeah, that's not going to happen. I know I'm just out there learning the ropes and stuff, and I'm fumbling my way through it. But that's not what I'm into. I'm out there, I'm trying to find answers to, whatever I've experienced in the past. And I've, 50 years of being outdoors and so forth, I've experienced some things that I don't know the answers to. And I'm good job, sir. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, well, the good thing is, it's like, what if you would have gotten hooked up with them, not knowing that they were hoaxing, and then you just got swept up into their whole little act by accident? Because I think that's what's going on with a couple of those members there. They don't realize what's going on. This whole grift is going on because there's a couple, like Trapper is a part of it, and the main guy, the camera guy, is a part of it, because they are completely protecting this hoax and everything. And so that's why it's good to name people and call these people out, so others don't fall for it. And so yeah, it sucks. I'm actually going to do a video about it after, because the cameraman is supposed to be doing an attack video on me, which is whatever. But I'm going to do another video after he does that, just to kind of help illustrate the point of this new type of grift going on, so more people can be aware of it.
Yeah, you're going to get more of that, because Brent, of course, I mentioned the Christopher Nell thing. I said, and Christopher did this video, Bigfoot Okanagan's bullying me. I said to them 3 sentences on social posts. You got Brent from the tall one, Steve calls them doing up videos of it, but he comes after little old Leon from Okanagan. I said, we should be proud, you guys.
Yeah.
He's got 15,000 members, and he's attacking somebody up in Canada that has 1,500, subscribers or whatever. And it's kind of like just crazy. I might have to go here because it looks like Interior Health here, which I don't know why they're here.
Well,
hey, just give me a sec. Go ahead there, Jackway.
In that format, going out and looking in the woods, I've used it myself. And when you're talking about hunting methods, and that's basically what we're doing. We're hunting for something we believe is out in the woods. We're just hunting for proof in the roundabout ways that you can do it. There is, collecting the data through quantitative analysis, but you get into so many variables there. The hairs without a medulla, with the rounded ends, there's a being that has hair that doesn't have a medulla without rounded ends, and that's young blonde children. A blonde hair often doesn't have a medulla, and that's one of the things that haven't been kind of put out. That's some of the stuff that you got to watch out for, and some of the data collecting, because it's a tough show. When seeing the tracks, being here in Ohio and stuff, and furthermore, when you're out in like a what do they call that? A wetland, the Pacific. Oh, it's
Rainforest.
another name for. Yeah, thank you, rainforest. When you're in any of the rainforests, trying to find tracks as a treat. A lot of the tracker knowledge that people hear of and speak of and go on about is from the Great Plains, where you could follow horses for miles or.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a completely different story up here
Areas.
as far as
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a completely different story when you're in the rainforest. I apologize, my phone keeps timing out. So and even though I found what I believe was a few tracks, and didn't, at the time, I've only been in this for a couple years when I finally decided to try and figure out what the heck's going on. I didn't cast them or anything. That was on a trail, and mistakenly thought that whatever made these tracks had to go past that trail cam, and it didn't.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm just bumbling along, learning. But going back to what I was talking about, the different styles of hunting. When you're running out there with a camera like that, I associate that with a run and gunning or glassing style of hunting, as opposed to my personal favorite style, which is on stand and sitting on stand for hours.
Sit and wait.
Which between the two, in my history of hunting, the sit and wait has been far more productive than running and gunning.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they really want to find a Bigfoot. To be honest, I think that's why they have those high-powered flashlights to scare every animal off, and why they're so loud, just for that very reason. Because I really do feel if one of them spotted a black bear in the area, all of them would leave the area. But they're all okay of staying in the area with all these Bigfoots around them and all these other portals and entities around them, whatever narrative they can throw out there, like worse than Colorado Bigfoot. Whatever narrative they can throw out there is what they're going to try and game for. And it's just like, and it's funny that they will be so brave out there and be so calm with all these Bigfoots around. It's like, come on. Come to the local park.
I think in my way, I mean, like I said, I'm not like the super sleuth investigator or researcher or whatever. I know how to research stuff. I often do a lot of research if you want to get right down to it. But my thinking is, you know what? I'm never ever. You're never gonna go, and I'm never gonna have a video of me hunting a Bigfoot. The way I do things. What I do? I go out. I go camping when I can. And during my camping trips, I will look around the area, even if there haven't been any like reports of that area, or having anything weird or Sasquatch like take place in them. It's woods. If it has everything that they need and it can support a large mammal, I will go around during the daytime. I'll look for any kind of sign. Now, what am I going to see for Bigfoot signs? Since I know that like there's a lot of crap that happens in the woods that's just natural. So, but I guess I'm looking mainly for me. It's always footprints. If I can find that, that's great. I'm not, the stick structures, the tree breaks. I may take a look at a weird looking tree break because I'm not saying that they can't do that or they don't do that. I may take a look at it and then I'll probably figure out, no, this is how it happened. But I'll do that during the day. And then, as far as actually seeing another one ever again in my life, I don't think I'm ever going to hunt one down to see it. It's going to happen either by accident or if it happens on purpose, it won't be because of me. It'll be because whatever is out there comes to me.
Well, I don't think they're hunting for Bigfoot. They're hunting for donations. So it's a completely different hunt for them.
I'm talking about if you actually want to go out and, try to figure out some answers for this. Everybody has a different way. My way is basically what Trackway was saying. My way is the sit and wait thing. But I will go out and look for kind of signs if I can find signs. I don't know other than footprints. I don't know exactly what Bigfoot sign is, right?
No, and
Not tree structures and X's and all other stuff. At least nobody's proved that yet with real good evidence for it. So I don't know what Bigfoot sign is, but I'm out there in the woods looking for it, right? And that doesn't make a lot of sense because I don't know what it is other than footprints. And
well, the interesting
find some weird ass hair, but I'm not a hair expert. So
right, go ahead, Track.
I totally agree with what you're saying there, Joe. The thing that gets me most interested is the not so much like the what do you call it, the teepees and so forth, but the simple structures. Now, you know, the hoops and whatever, those can form naturally, but you know, there is a hunting practice that uses a very similar technique, and when I see that technique in a simpler, more primitive manner, then I have kind of a connection with the two. Not so much in believing like this whole area full of hoops are all made by Bigfoot. It's just that, okay, that could actually have some promise. You know, in hunting, we call it hinge cutting. It's hinge cutting. It's a deer management process where you partially cut a tree down. You get the top down to where I'm going to say deciduous, and I know that's the wrong word. The leaves that the deer want will actually come in, and they'll feed on those leaves, and they'll also use that structure for bedding cover. Yeah. But you know, I got hung up, and I got to admit this flat out, and I'm still hung up on it, and finding these 3-inch round trees that have been broke about between 2 to 3 foot up. They're not completely broke off. They don't really fit the hoop or the hinge cutting. But the oddity about it and why I'm so stuck on it is that it's at that perfect height. Is when you travel through the woods and when you move through the woods, that 2 foot to 3 foot area is what you're looking at when you're moving and trying to decide where you put your feet. And that's why I've been really kind of hung up on these lately and finding them.
Well, I'll throw this out to you, Chuck. I'm not saying it is this, but if you have moose in the area or deer or elk in here, what will happen is they'll find that roughly size of the tree that you're talking about. They'll walk over top of it, like almost push with their front part here, and they push the tree down so it's bent downwards so they can get to whatever they're grazing off of the tops.
And I agree with that in the areas that you have moose and bear.
Yeah, and I have to see the pictures just to see what else it is. But the good thing about you is, look at, and this is when I'm listening to you, is this is the stuff that we should be putting into informational banks. Just what you just said there, you know, just not that you're even aware of what it is, but the part before that where you were talking about an example of what that could be. You know, like I don't think most people would have even heard what you just said there. I work in forestry, or used to work in forestry, so I'm familiar with that whole concept. You know, like, but that's the information. So we can, again, when you look at tree snaps or bent trees or anything like that. Now I have to give Alex again from the cryptozoologist guy. He was really good. I was so glad that he appeared before me because he showed all this kind of stuff. He showed like bent trees, how they get bent, what the reasons were for those ones. And of course, somebody in the audience was getting triggered. You know, oh my God, they're going against my sacred belief. They said, well, did you do any further investigation to see what else might be able to do that? And his response was very good, very professional. He says, listen, I'm not saying this is the answer to all the questions. This is just an answer to that one question. There might be about 15 other answers to that question. And that's the what I'm talking about, that a place where people can put information like this, because the narration is so thick out there. I mean, it's like walking through Jello in regards to all these things, but it's not helping anybody like you or me or anybody else, because I don't know. You know, all I want to know is I don't know. I want to know, how do you know what you're claiming? And I think it's brilliant. Yeah. I just want to say one other thing you helped me with, actually, Trackway, today was listen to you talk. I think I need to do up a video between about the difference between science and when science turns into a belief system and a belief system turns into a religious philosophy.
Yeah.
And not make it religion, but the idea about when a topic becomes so sacred that, and that's what happens in the Bigfoot narration that's online, not on all cases, because there's obviously us out here now. But when something becomes a religious belief system, it's no longer about looking for evidence, because again, Scott from Behavioral Panel, he goes to all these conferences to bug Greg about Sasquatch, and he asks everybody about meeting up with, have you had a Sasquatch experience? And he says, I didn't find anybody. And I said, that's like walking into a church and say, do you guys believe in God? Everyone's going to put up their hand. Haven't you seen God? No one's going to put up their hand, So it's not really the right question to ask people or whatever. I did, Nikki and Brent, you can check this one out. I'm going to try to track down. When I was in Merritt, I had this lady come up to me afterwards, and she was, I don't know if she was familiar with me or not. I don't think so. But she kept looking at me throughout the conference. So she must have known I was speaking or whatever. She came up to me, she showed me this video. And this video is, how they talk about Sasquatches walking like spiders?
Uh-huh.
And she had a video in dusk on her phone. And it's this Sasquatch, or supposed Sasquatch or something. The good thing was she wasn't saying it was Sasquatch. She says, what do you think this is? And I thought, I don't know what the hell it was. It was definitely large, like a human being, and it was scrambling up the road. Her dog went running after it. And are you guys familiar with a video at all like that?
Not a video, but I've heard of.
Yeah.
I've
so she actually has the video. I
spider.
said to her, give me your email address and send that to me, because I'm going to probably send it to you guys so you can track it down. I'm a little suspicious because the dog went right up to it. It's it's huge. Like if you were dressed as a Sasquatch costume, dusk, very black, dark. The thing's walking like freaky walking kind of thing. And I can see how your brain would just, oh my God, what the hell is that? But the thing was the dog's actions. The dog ran up to it instead of barking at it. And instead of growling at it as it was a mystery, it went over to it, right up to it, and sniffed it, and then walked away like it didn't care. And I thought,
yeah,
the dog recognizes what's inside of that.
Somebody's in it. Somebody's in that outfit that they know.
So, and I think, it was just interesting because it's just data for me to think of. Why would somebody do this?
Right.
Well, they want to be important. They want to show you something unique. They want to figure out whether or not they're drinking the Kool-Aid, but they don't want to say it because it's embarrassing for them. There's motivations there that I don't want to, I'm not here. And I've said that to everybody when I was speaking. I said, I'm not here to doubt anything you're saying. I said, I'm just here to show you what I found and what I bumped into and how heart-wrenching it was and disappointing it was. And how gullible I was. And, it really made me it helped that I walked on the stage and I had to get Shane he's holding my hand and walking up with this crutchy old guy, Oh, I was getting a whole bunch of brownie points of grace so I could really hammer at them. You get angry at a guy that can barely walk, died 9 times. No. But I get you. Like, oops. Yeah. This moose picture I put up, when I was talking about my experience and I had those other experiences, and I said, no, I saw a baby Sasquatch on the back of a moose, and I showed that, and I said, and now today that moose that looks like this. Everyone just breaks out laughing. But I wanted to stay off that topic as quick as possible, because of time, which it was very frustrating because I like being able to take people psychologically on a trip, when I'm speaking to them, but I don't know, you guys. I think we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. I think you should keep doing it and just let the evidence, which I mentioned to everybody. It was a terrible thing that I was speaking because everything everybody said prior to that, well, we circle, we have all the, and they're showing pictures of circled shit again, I said, if somebody comes up to you, even if they saw a Sasquatch and they're in a circle and showing a picture, it's not good enough evidence. Christopher Noel, he does all this kind of stuff, blah, blah. Brent, I look at some of the old videos Jerry brought up in regards to when I first started out, and I was drinking the Kool-Aid of Christopher Noel and some of these other guys.
I heard that, yeah.
Yeah, that's like 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you know, and I said to Jerry, you have to let me know, you know, you're going to be putting those videos up. He wanted to put up that doc or that 2-part series I have on John Bindernagel. And Rio's there asking all these questions. I said, don't you put that video up. I said, if anything, we'll edit all that out, put the questions on a screen, and then John can just answer it. I said, because, you know what happened there with us. And it's just like, it's so frustrating for like even Trackway or anyone else, anyone starting this. It's literally like walking into a system, even your family system, and you're telling them the truth about something, but they just don't want to hear it. You know, you can see their eyes look. Certainly, you're one of them. You know, you're a doubting Thomas.
Yeah. There's so much to learn too. You know,
right?
Just not, you know, whether it's history or learning your equipment is a big one, which is where I've been bumbling the past couple of weeks. And understanding, you know, how the equipment records, which is a huge one. You know, I put up a video where, you know, you hear this. To me, when I first searched for it, you hear this, and I'm like, what in the world is this?
Yeah, totally.
You know, and I didn't go through and do my due diligence, and I didn't go through and check all the videos. Because what it is that when I turned, you know, I distorted the sound wavelengths, or however you want to call it, when I turned, the mics went away because I had stepped off we was walking down the road, I stepped off the road, turned the mics away from my wife, Deb, and she said something. So when I'm listening to the tracks just off of 2 pieces of recording equipment, it sounds like a male voice going da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Here it was her. When I checked her recorders later on, when I do the audio for the 10th or 12th time, and I was like, oh man. And that's a gut punch. Because you think you have something, you think you found something, but at the same time too, you got to present it. And you got to say, hey, I was wrong. I messed up. Here it is, guys.
Yeah, because if you don't, someone else will.
Doing, like, kudos to you, because you fess up. Like, you're not gonna. I mentioned that as one of those list things. Is after you come across new data, present the new data. You know, like, it feels embarrassing because you feel kind of stupid after saying it, but man, I want to know the truth about things. I don't want to pretend I know the truth about things, because in the long run, I know after a while, if I've got some kind of conscience, I'm going to realize I'm playing people.
Some of the videos, if I put it up, and I lost that there, phone timed out. Sorry, when I put something up, and I don't say this, and maybe I should say it more, maybe it's a mistake, but you know, sometimes I'm reaching out hoping somebody will pick it up and figure out what it is, because if I can't figure it out, you know.
Right?
Yeah. That's why I always recommend is isolating that piece of evidence and putting it out there. Kind of like what I did for Matt's thing, is just put it out there, isolate it. Don't give a timestamp to anybody and have them go find it in the video. You want that evidence right up front so people can easily vet it out for you. Be like, oh, yep, that's what this is and stuff. And you know, that's what we should definitely be doing, saying, hey, what is this? And provide the information and be open-minded to the responses, because someone out there likely knows.
And and
I wouldn't put it onto social media stuff, because you're going to get a whole bunch of Kool-Aid drinkers. Oh, that's fantastic, Trackway. You know, like, oh yeah, you have 150 of those comments, which is going to prime your thinking, oh, I'm onto something. And the one person who says, oh, Trackway, that's this, and you're going, if you don't know them, you're going to just think, oh, that's just another opinion kind of thing, you know. But if you can find, I mean, and it would help you with that, I would think so.
For the most part, I just maintain the really small channel on YouTube here. I don't really do social media stuff. And when I got into this, the first people I met was you guys. Back when, I'm trying to think, the accusation against Russell Accord and Bob Gimlin came out.
The massacre theory.
No, it was
we're talking about no, the thing about
yeah.
Okay.
It's hard to
I
keep
wish
them
I
on
don't
track.
know about. That's that
Keep your facts straight,
celebrity drama
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Yep.
Out there.
I remember that one.
So, and since then, you guys have held my attention. A lot of channels, if I go on, I might be there for like 2 or 3 minutes. If they don't grab my attention, I'm like a cat, I'm gone. And, a lot of the big ones, I just turned away from like right off the bat. I hate saying names out loud, but,
Yeah, you don't
Bigfoot
have to.
Odyssey, I was turned off of that in like 3 seconds. And, yeah, and a lot of similar channels, I was turned off from that in like 3 seconds. The ones that I do find interesting, that sketching encounters.
Yeah.
Oh, Sibylla Irwin.
Oh, she's fantastic.
Yeah, I had her on a show because I was very interested in it, and because of she's a great sketch artist, man, just a great artist. And yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that every single one of those encounters may be real, because you know, out of everybody in the world that said they've seen a Bigfoot, I know at least some of them are telling the truth. Not
Yeah.
maybe all of them. Some of them are making it up. Some are just coming up with a story. Some may have been mistaken or whatever. But I still like, that's a channel that I'd actually recommend people go if they like hearing encounter stuff, and they like seeing somebody trying to draw what somebody's telling them they saw. Beautiful one to go to. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off track, but
No, that's cool. And really, other than that, I've just been picking up equipment, watching you all, and having conversations with a couple other people. Really, the last conference was the first time I've talked to anybody outside of the circle, and that happened to be the gentleman who makes these tree knockers. This small wooden bats with that pretty heavily made. Something I don't do. I have no need to go out and make wood knocks because they freaking happen to me. And trying to figure out what they were and whatnot. And I got in conversation with him about my last wood knock encounter and so forth, and the parts of it, just kind of really worked out. And so my wife, she I guess she helps him whenever he comes in to do the laser engraving on these things. It's really pretty. I'll never use it. I mean, it's an incredible looking.
I think I know who
piece
you're
of
talking
hardware.
about, because I think he was at one of the conferences that I actually went to, and I have a big knocker. It's inlaid with turquoise. It's like an old, and I'd never use it, of course, but
And go ahead, Brent, or whoever it was.
Oh, no, go ahead.
oh, I think somebody just, oh, there he is. Jeff showed up.
Hey,
Hey.
stop in and wish Nikki a happy Mother's Day.
Yes,
Yeah,
happy Mother's Day, Nikki.
She's been talking her ass off this whole show, so.
Thank you.
Totally. Yeah, totally. I was just thinking about that, Jeff. I just read your comment. Happy birthday or happy Mother's Day. And I'm thinking, typical guys, right? We're all yakking away. None of us see that. There's a woman present.
It's okay. I'm getting a lot done in the background. You do.
I would love to hear
my
Nikki.
Mother's Day mimosa, so I'm good to go.
Nice. Good for you.
My husband got me that giant Texas sized wine glass. This wine glass holds a whole bottle of wine.
What?
Wow,
Yeah.
cool.
Are you gonna be ready for the show
Now,
later?
Nikki,
That's the question.
Nikki, you ought to know. You could tell me. Is it a law that on Mother's Day, mothers must drink mimosas? I think that's a law, isn't it?
I don't know. I do. If everybody else does, but yeah, my husband had some. Got it all ready for me. So it was nice.
That's romantic.
He also got me another Bigfoot mug. It's that one of that cartoon where there's a bunny and something looking, and they see a Bigfoot on a phone,
Yeah.
Oh, I
payphone.
put that. I put one up. Yeah. Hey, is
Yeah,
that a Bigfoot?
give
I
me a
can't
big
believe
old.
that's Bigfoot. Yeah. Wow, is
That'll
that a telephone? Oh,
yeah,
payphone?
Yeah, I had
so that was fun.
a friend of mine asked me, "Are you and the boys taking Joni out for dinner for Mother's Day?" And I was like, "This is the one day a year I would not want to go to a restaurant, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
no, I don't either.
there's nothing enjoyable about being packed in there and
It's packed. Big
And
Mother's Day
waiting
here is
45 minutes.
huge. And the girls were like, "Well, we can go out and do that." And then I go, "Let's go this week sometime. We'll go to dinner or do something because I don't want to go today and I want to do my show and I know other things are going on."
I decided to do
So
something really special for Mother's Day. Our washing machine started leaking yesterday, so I've been working on fixing that today.
fixing that.
Fixing our
There you
washing
go.
machine.
Surprisingly
That's
good
like
gift,
if your
though.
husband gets you a vacuum cleaner or
Iron.
something.
Yeah,
right.
or an
For
iron.
more
Yeah.
work.
For
No.
Christmas.
Dude, if I
I
ever
remember
got, if
when
I
I
ever
was
got, well, we're not parents, so it wouldn't be Mother's Day. But if I ever got Molly a vacuum, yeah, I'd end up in the hospital
But
having
here's
a
the
vacuum surgically removed from my anus.
thing, Joe. Psychologically, they do that shit to us all the time, and we don't realize it. If you notice Father's Day, Joni will bring home steaks and my favorite 6-pack of beer or something and say, "You can grill today." And I'm like, "Oh, great. I get to feed the whole family for Father's Day." But yet
That
I'm
doesn't
looking
work
at
for me
I'm
though.
looking at the beer going,
I
"This is
don't let my husband
special.
cook.
This is awesome," right? But
Nope. There's no husband cooking here, not
You
even
get a
grilling.
call.
I don't
I'm not
let him.
sure that's how Father's Day works, but
Yeah.
I used to tell our pastor that it's really interesting, the difference between Mother's Day and Father's Day. You go into any church and here's the message you hear on Mother's Day: let's have all the moms stand up, give them a round of applause. Great, thank God for moms, right? And then on Father's Day, it's like, we need to rise up, we need to be better father. It's like, you know, that's
Well,
seriously the message, right? We
well,
need to
Jeff,
be better fathers, is the message. And I'm
think,
thinking, if we ever spent Mother's Day telling moms they need to be better, we'd get our asses kicked.
well, think of it this way, Jeff. If you think about mothers, they really kind of had a hell of a lot more to do with the child being born than you did. You know what I
Well,
mean? They had to carry it around for 9 months. They had to push that thing out of them. That's why mothers get pampered and fathers.
To
It's
take
like,
her out to dinner and get her
I
all
think
fathers.
cleaned up.
I have an objection to be calling a thing.
Oh,
You had to push that thing out of her. Nikki, you had to push those things out of you, Nikki.
all right.
at the time I thought they were things, but
Touche.
yeah, they
Hey, some babies
I'm
come
not
out
sure
looking
what they.
like things, man.
Yeah,
that's true.
You're
No,
like,
Oh,
my
oh,
you just
babies
gave
were
birth to a lizard.
gorgeous.
Sorry.
My babies were absolutely gorgeous. They were gorgeous.
I don't
oh,
know if I
hey,
was or not.
hey,
I never saw baby pictures of me as a kid. I had a few from like 4 on, but apparently I was so hideous before the age of 4 or so that nobody ever took a picture of me. I've
well,
never
I don't
been.
think they really had cameras back then, did they? Oh,
Oh,
You could have pulled one of
oh.
those things out.
such a cold slice.
Man.
No, they were still like the Flintstone shit, etching it on stone.
Oh, Leon, I was going to tell you, you use a phrase, tossed salad, and I don't know if you know, but that means something completely different down here in the States.
Well, it doesn't mean that different because that's where I got it from, was down in the States. So
Oh,
the terminology, I got that from the States. So salad approach. I know what it can mean, but it's also another way of a different variety. Well, you guys know that. I don't want to tell you that.
Yeah.
What is it? What have you heard, Brent?
Oh, for tossing salad?
Oh God.
Oh, never mind.
I did not know that
I just want to make sure. Never mind.
Yeah, we're getting into X-rated there. So I'll just say,
Google it. Just Google.
I thought this was
I just
PG.
Google it. Yeah,
I have a hard
Google
time Googling hairy man hoaxers on my new laptop, and once it comes back, it's all these hairy men. God, I have to go down to all these hairy men. Right-click things.
Oh, man.
Really? I don't want a hairy man. And then I realized I'm spelling it. You have to spell it exactly now on YouTube with the channel, or else it doesn't come up. It doesn't even give you an idea like it used to. At least that's what I'm finding. Maybe it's a Canadian conspiracy. YouTube's against us.
Could be.
Man, it's hot here. How hot are you in Washington right now, Brent? You guys really warm
It's
down
going to be like 90s. Yeah, it's like in the 90s now.
Oh crap! It's only like 60 degrees here.
Yeah, it's like summer's here. It's like hello.
Yeah.
Came last week.
It's been raining
Announced
all
itself
day
like a boss.
and today here.
Yeah.
It's cloudy and about 60 some degrees.
And there you go. There you have it. Evidence that there's different weather in different places.
No, we're all in cahoots.
I'm able to work on
Check
my
your guys'
can now, so that's great.
For your PayPal accounts right now, all that money's going through all of us right on. Yeah. Keep the lie going. Yeah.
We need a little rain. All the corn and the beans and everything's planted here now, so we're ready for the rain.
There's a video, or I don't know if it's, I don't remember now if it's a video. In keeping with Mother's Day and Mother Squatch Day, I was watching this thing. I would like you guys to take a look at it too. Jeff, Nikki, Leon, Brent, Trackway. I don't remember if it was just pictures or if it was from a video or if it's from pictures. I think I originally saw it. You'd have to look it up. I think it was one of the things that maybe Sasquatch Odyssey podcast put up on their Facebook. I'm not sure if it was them, but it's supposedly it's a purported baby Bigfoot. Okay,
and to get that movie before I did the conference,
and they showed part of it. I watched part of it, and I was like, okay. And whoever it was that was trying to lighten it, contrast, all this other stuff to clear it up to show that it was a baby Bigfoot. And the whole time I'm looking at it going, it's pareidolia, because it's a dark spot. Sure it is. It's a dark spot in there, but I don't see where in any sense of the imagination you can go, that's a baby Bigfoot. So I want you guys to look at it, because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a baby Bigfoot in that bush.
You have a video of it?
It's on one of them pages, man. I don't have the video of it. But I was either looking at Sasquatch Odyssey Quest, Sasquatch Odyssey Podcast Facebook page, or maybe it's online. You guys, if you look it up, baby Bigfoot or something, and that thing might pop up. I don't know if it's on YouTube. It might be on YouTube. But I wish I could remember who it was. But
I'm looking on the Odyssey podcast page.
Yeah.
Recently, no? Was it like last day or 2 days?
Yeah, it was just like yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday.
Anyone in the chat recognize that?
No. Hey, I gotta go, guys. I'll chat with you guys later.
Oh, hey.
All right.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
All right,
see you later. Okay.
See ya.
Bye.
Don't you love it? Talking about, I want you guys. I'll find
I don't
it.
see it on the Odyssey podcast.
Well,
page.
maybe it wasn't them, but I'll find it. And when I find it, I'll just messenger it to you, and you can look at it.
And it's a video?
I think, well, it's at least some stills, but I think it's supposedly stills from a video. I don't remember now. Sorry. I was just more interested
Why
in
you bring it up then, man. Get your hopes
figuring
up.
out.
Why'd you bring it up? You should have had it.
I know.
I gotta go too, guys. I gotta get ready for my show because I've got something else I want to do before.
Cool.
So,
Yeah. Well, it's been what 2 hours, hasn't it?
yeah.
Yep.
And so this was
is
pretty successful relaunch, second video, and now all of it's working the right way again. So now all I need to do is, just start getting some content when I start getting out in the woods.
Okay, one question for you, Joe. Was the Sasquatch is supposed to be in a tree?
No, it's like it's not in a tree.
No, what's the caption? Do you remember what the caption was, or roughly?
I think it was like
one video came out with a baby
Bigfoot.
One video came out with a baby Sasquatch just on the 11th of May by Bobo.
I don't follow him.
And it says
that may be where it's from. I don't know. I'd have to check that one out. I'll look it up and I'll send it to you guys. I'll find it.
All right. Just thought it made out there. Well, Nikki, we'll see you at 4:00 our time. What time? You're doing your Mother's Day thing
tonight? Yep. Yeah. 7:00 my time.
Yeah. Cool. Definitely.
Make
be
sure
there
subscribe
or be square.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody. Nice. We'll see you later.
Yep.
We'll see you, Nikki. Yeah, congratulations on getting her fixed, Joe. That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, I'd just be happy if the same people came back and resubbed that were subbed. I don't, if I get any new subscribers, it doesn't matter. As long as I get the same people back for the most part.
Well, the thing is, if you put all your videos back up and people keep
I don't have them all. I wish.
No, but whatever. You put videos up right now. What's going to happen with the algorithm? Because you have 50 new subscribers in the last 24 hours, it's going to push your channel up more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the comments.
If I get the numbers and the money, you can make more money, Joe.
You'll race back to 250 or 300. It's those extra couple hundred that you had. That's just going to be kind of a grind.
Yeah. It's all right, man. As long as I got enough people that it's worth me even having a channel, that's fine with me.
I bet the interesting experiment will be is that after like 2 weeks of people resubscribing, your live chat numbers aren't going to go down, because the ones that are popping in right now and resubscribing are the latest ones that were in your 40 people, whatever, that were always in chat lately.
Yeah.
Somebody who used to watch your show, but for whatever reason hasn't watched it in the last 6 months, they probably aren't going to resubscribe. Well, it wouldn't have mattered because they weren't watching it now anyways.
Right. Exactly. So, yeah, but so I got everything. It's all set and working now, which is cool. Now I just got to get out there and like I said at the beginning or earlier in the show, get back to my basics of what I was doing originally. Instead of being a podcast host, I want to be back out there filming what I'm doing, and putting that up,
Yep.
Come up with something. But yeah, I'll find that baby Bigfoot thing because I'm really curious. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's something there and I'm the only dumbass that can't see it and thinks it's pareidolia. But so anyway, thanks for showing up, guys. Thank you, people in chat, and sorry at Clutch, at ALT. I'm sorry, I can't say that name. Addleclutch. Thanks for showing up, though. And that's awesome. So I'll do another chill chat sometime or another, and we can talk about probably eventually Bigfoot in it, and then a lot of other stuff too. But Leon, glad you had a good time at your place there, and I'm waiting to see that. I want to see that presentation when you're ready. If you can show it and everything, I'd love to see it. And Trackway, thank you for showing up, man, and popping on.
Thank you for having me on. Hopefully, next month I'll get to meet Alex here in Small Town Monsters is throwing their very first Monster Fest. I intend to attend, and that's where I'll meet up with. Yeah, I know.
That's
I'll
cool.
meet up. I'll meet up with. That's where I intend to meet up with Tactical Bigfoot Mike, and
he's a good
maybe
dude.
a couple others. Yeah, I'm excited to meet Mike. I was hoping Mike would be at the Ohio conference, but
is Seth going to be there too, or
Seth is supposed to be there. Seth actually did his.
Nice.
He actually did the circuit around here back before Small Town Monsters really got a following. By the way, that's an interesting area. I'll do a drive down through there at some point. That's just a few miles away from my house, and I do know deputies that are still alive from that original Minerva monster incident. That can confirm that the craziness was definitely happening. But hopefully I get to meet them. Joe, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, Trey. Cool.
Nice seeing you, Leon. Nice seeing you, Jeff.
Nice seeing you.
That's the one thing three of us here have in common is
all three I'm a little camera shy.
Yeah, that's all three of us now have met Alex in person. So, because I met him at the
thing, the Walmart,
that place at
the restaurant down the road,
that
Whitehall Festival here in New York. He was there. Yeah, that's right. The first one I went to. Yeah, so we have that. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
So
I'm interested in just seeing how his presentation, the way he does things, is very interesting to me. So. Looking forward to
me
it.
Or him? Who are you talking about?
Oh, all of you. No.
I think Alex is the type of personality that, even though Small Town Monsters is getting as big as it is, I think if he had 100 documentaries out, if he became Cliff Barackman-ish, that you could still approach him and talk to him, and he would come off as a genuine person. I mean, he doesn't have that inflated personality,
Yeah.
Well, we met. Sorry, Joe. I know you're trying to wrap it up, but
he's got nothing to do. Trust me.
Jen and I both met in BF Bud and his wife Angie. Cliff Brockman was at the Ohio conference, and him and Jen were having a conversation, and then Renee was outdoors out back, and I didn't approach either of them. One, I didn't want Cliff to remember, about the coin incident, and although there was it's a good running gag. I'm running around trying to keep Cliff from hitting me or saying, I want my $10. But he was very approachable, both when I met him and then at that conference, and so was. Seemed like Renee was approachable, but the group had left me behind because that's when I started talking to the Woodbat guy. But thanks for having me here, Jeff. You and I have more in common than you'd know. We're the same age, and we both did the same thing in July when we graduated.
That Renee, I've talked to her a couple different times, met her a couple times. She's really a pretty genuine person too, for how popular she got. Didn't really get to her head, but she's originally from my home state of South Dakota.
Yeah.
So with that, I will say adieu, fellas.
See
you later.
I guess. So yeah, we'll crash land this plane. Jeff lands his all the time. I'm gonna crash this one, but so cool. The relaunch is here. The channel is there. Keep your eyes open. Hit the like, subscribe, and the little bell for the notifications. There, I finally said it.
Nice.
And we'll see you again, man. As I start putting up stuff, man, I'm gonna try like hell.
Because you gotta sign off with your deal. You can't.
Oh, I will.
You can't start quitting doing that now just because it's a new channel.
I know you have to. But yeah, I'm gonna. This summer is gonna be like busy because I'm gonna be busy with work, and when I'm not working, I'm damn sure gonna be out in the woods. So that's coming up. So you guys just remember, thank you, chat, all the people that show up. Love you, and thanks for sticking with me. And don't forget, don't sweat the petty stuff, and don't pet the sweaty stuff. We're going to be out in the woods. All right. See ya.
See you guys.